Now that elections are over, feminists are urging wives to divorce their husbands before it's too late.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
After January 20th or whatever, he's going to want to outlaw no-fault divorce. And so we need to get divorced now, ladies, if there's any doubt in your mind.
Women who can divorce their husbands, I'm going to need you to do it today. And who can't divorce their husbands, look up Aqua Tofana.
I want you to just think about how these are the women who I'm sure don't have husbands encouraging women to leave theirs. Let's just think about that.
I didn't say to do anything with it. I just said to look it up.
This is a PSA for any of the ladies that have been seriously considering divorcing their husband. There's a lot of big conversations happening now that we have the results of the election, one of them being no-fault divorce. That is a type of divorce that allows you to end your marriage without needing to prove that anyone is at fault. Some lawmakers are looking to abolish that, which is going to make you divorcing your husband a lot harder. So here's what that potential change could mean for you. You're going to have to prove that your husband did something wrong, which can be even more expensive, emotionally draining, and time-consuming. Legal battles over fault can keep you in an endless and very expensive fight. Removing no-fault divorce could mean higher conflict in court, which is certainly not ideal for your kids or you. Without no-fault divorce, you lose the freedom to decide when to leave your marriage. Your private decision could be left up to someone else's idea of what's right. So if you're unhappy in your marriage, now might be the time to act. Protect.
Listen, you heard it for yourself. Again, if you're unhappy in your marriage, happiness. I'm never going to stop reminding men to not take women seriously for a long-term relationship and or marriage, who defines a successful marriage as happiness. Because life's not about happiness. Happiness is a feeling, it comes and goes. Joy, satisfaction, your children, how's your family doing overall? It's not about you. If you want to suffer, then ignore that. Plain and simple.
Your right to choose what is best for you and your kids before it's taken away. Because the reasons that you want to leave your marriage are no one else's business.
You hear that? You know why she says that? Because this also is the same crazy chick who says, if your man is a good man and you're unhappy, but he's good, he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing, F the vows, F what you said through sickness, through health or anything. If all that is actually straight, just divorce him. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself.
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you.
You're not doing him any favors by staying. If anything, you're actually going to start building up resentment. Your relationship doesn't have to be toxic to validate your feelings of wanting to leave. Think of it this way. If he's a good guy, he deserves to be happy. That means he deserves to be with somebody who values him and wants him just the way he is. If that's not you, you gotta let him go.
He may not see it like this right now, but you're doing both of you a favor.
With a smile on her face, telling other women to leave good men because of their feelings. Because of their feelings. And for those of you who are engaged, soon to be married, and you do not have a prenup, I would caution you to consider having, first of all, the difficult conversation, because I know conversation is difficult for a lot of people to have, and bringing that up. If you don't know where to start, hit the link pinned to the top of the comment section and get resources and guidance from practicing attorneys like the lead attorney, James Sexton, and get access to the #1 guide to forming a solid, legally binding prenup. Yes, you have to protect yourself in this day and age. It does not mean that you lack trust. If you do not form or draft your own prenup, you'd be subject to the prenup that's defined in your state.
Black women, please don't fall for the feminist movement part 2. They're out here telling women to leave their husbands if he voted for Trump. Are you kidding me? Like, don't fall for it. Seriously. We already went through this before, right? And look what it did to the community. Look what it did to Black families. Don't be gullible. Don't be impulsive. Don't let your emotions take over and have you lose everything, your family. The other side of it is like, you and your husband didn't talk about your political views. Y'all didn't have these conversations up until Tuesday. You didn't know this until he came home and said, honey, I voted for Trump. Like, that's another conversation. Like, why didn't you know prior to that? and understand why your husband voted in that way. But to be out here telling women the best thing we can do is just divorce these men, don't get tricked out of your spot, period.
There are so many, I was speaking to another woman and asking her, hey, what do you think? It's a single woman. I asked her, what do you think about this whole 4B movement and everything that's going on? She said, I hope that more women embrace it. I hope that more women divorce their husbands and leave them, because I can't wait to swoop in and get that man, especially if he's a good man. There are women out here who cannot wait. I just did another video of a woman who said, I allowed social media to influence me out of settling down with a man who I realized later on in my life was good. These streets are cold. There is nothing out here for you, for most of you, except for trauma, and plenty of it. And unfortunately, the day we're living in today, you might just end up on the coffee pot. Right? And I'll try not to laugh at you because I'm trying to be better about that. But I can't promise anything. Oh, man. It's just crazy to me, man. It's just crazy. Encouraging other women to divorce their husbands. Wild, wild. And for you people who look and say, there's no way people are actually listening to this and actually getting divorced based on information from these videos, here's your example.
I've never been brave enough to mail off my divorce paperwork in the years I've been separated from him because I knew it would be a fight. And the results of this election have pushed me to finally grow a pair of balls. And I just sat here crying tears of joy, sealing this envelope to finalize my divorce from someone I know who voted against my rights. We're no longer afraid.
She'll be back. She'll be back. There'll be tears. I don't hope for it, but there's a lack of foresight here. Does it matter that you and your future wife or future husband have the same foundational values? What I define as a foundational value is something like how you choose to define marriage, right? The dynamics. We're talking about equal partnerships, or a man is the head of the household, a woman plays that helpmate role. That matters for sure. But I think a lot of people are jumping the gun in this situation and definitely will regret it. They're not really looking at the situation with the right type of lenses. They're categorizing something like, you don't believe in female deletion of babies, even though we don't plan to have any more kids. And so I'm going to use that personal value and make a decision to divorce when they are most likely going to regret it.
Hey ladies, if you've been thinking about leaving your husband, you better do it now. They get rid of no-fault divorce, you're going to have a really hard time. Trust me, I've been through divorce and it's not easy, but no-fault divorce at least makes it easier. By the way, look, I got gray hair for the first time. Actually, it's technically white. I just got it this week. I haven't had any gray hair ever. And now I have a bunch of hairs all in here.
Stressing out, needs a man.
And even there, look at that. Ah! I guess it was bound to happen. Thanks, Donald Trump. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. File for divorce stat. If you're thinking of leaving them, file now while you can. I'm serious. I'm not encouraging people who, are happy to not be together anymore. But if you want to leave, do it now while you can. For real.
All right, guys. All this proves is there's a lot more crazy stuff in the future that we'll definitely be talking about. As always, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.